What is up, YouTube? That's here, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys the start of a brand new series on this channel. This is hopefully going to be a weekly series, and it's going to be aimed at showing you guys what is, in my opinion, the top 5 QR codes of the week that you guys can use in your own games to climb every single battle spot ladder. That's going to be singles. That's going to be VGC 2019 Ultra Series ladder. That's going to be the VGC 2018 doubles ladder, and that's also going to be the special ladder. I'm going to be bringing you guys some of the best QR codes you've seen, and this isn't like the top 5 QR teams of the week based on usage. This is not based off usage. Believe it or not, I actually have like a huge base of like saved up QR codes that just I've found over the course of like a couple years, and I've just plucked them and saved them in folders. And you know what? I'm going to be giving them to you. I'm going to be giving you guys a breakdown of these teams, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to play them so you can use them in your own games, climb the ladder, and not only get those like ladder points, but what you actually get is a really good understanding of the game. And like I said, these teams are going to be based around what I think is good. So if I think a certain team is really popular, let's use the VGC 2019 Ultra Series like as any indication. Like Ray Ogre is really, really popular on ladder. So a couple of the teams we're going to be showing here are going to be pretty good at dealing with teams like Ray Ogre. And so every single team for every one of the formats, you're going to be getting little meta breakdowns and explanations for why I think the teams are good and what type of teams you're supposed to be beating. So before we get into this at all, please let me know if you have any questions in the comments below about like what I'm gonna be doing here. If you don't know how to link your PGL, if you don't know how to scan the QR codes, let me know in the comments. I'm gonna run you guys through it at the end of the video, but if anything at all is unclear, please let me know. Now, I cannot give you guys paste bins for these teams because they are QR codes, but I can also show you guys how you can look up the stats in-game. I can do that at the end of the video, or if you guys have questions, let me know. But without further ado, we're gonna get into the very first team. Now, you guys have been looking at this team the whole time, and you're like, I've seen that team before. I don't know where I've seen it. But now this is gonna be my team. Yeah, the first team we're looking at is gonna be a team that I made. This is actually gonna be my QR code. This is my most recent hyper aggression team that you've seen me featuring in my YouTube videos. You guys can now use it for yourself. And I feel before we get even further in the video, a lot of people are gonna be wondering, what's a QR code? Right? What's a QR code? How do I use it? What do you mean I can use your teams? So for those who don't know, Ultra Sun and Moon has a feature when you go into the battle spot or play like any battle where you can scan a team from the official Pokemon website and you can use that team in your games. It's not like hacking, it's not like cheating, you don't have to worry about that. And also when you use it, it's going to show up in like the team preview in a little box that it says like a little QR thing. So your opponent knows you're using a QR code, but again, it's not cheating. You can't use these things at tournaments, but it's a great way to learn how to play, and it's a great way to use Pokemon you don't already have. Like if you don't have Reshiram, you don't have Pheromosa, but you want to play with my team because you know how to play it, you saw it in the vids, you want to give it a test run for yourself, this is a great way to test those teams before actually committing to get the Pokemon in game. And some of the best teams were actually made by people using QR teams and then adapting them after familiarizing themselves with their play. So if you guys want to use my teams, you can always ask me to make QR codes of them. We're going to be featuring my team in the 5th spot today. So it's going to be my Reshiram, Pheromosa, Salamence, Primal Groudon, Naganadel, Lele course. So obviously when I made this team because I wanted to use multiple Dragon types, because I think Dragon types are actually really, really good against Pokemon like Primal Groudon. Obviously, like Naganadel and Reshiram aren't the best, but Salamence is really, really popular right now. I wanted multiple Tailwind setters. I wanted to make a team that was a hyper aggression team. Some of you guys think of past formats like 2017, 2018. Lele Pheromosa has always been a standard core. I think Pheromosa is one of the best underrated Pokemon right now, especially packing the 5 EMZ boosted off of Focus Blast. If your opponent is using like primals or like restricted Pokemon that don't have like a ton of special defense or HP investment, you one-shot them with a Focus Blast. All it takes is 1 KO with Pheromosa for its Beast Boost ability to activate, giving it a +1 special attack boost because this is a modest nature, and you're just going to run through pretty much everything. You have 2 Tailwind setters in Salamence and Naganadel. Naganadel has that strong sash. Lele is a Scarf bulky set with Magic Room, so it's like, I think it's 148 HP, 252 special attack, and I think the rest in speed. So you're going to be outspeeding base 200 speed mons, so you're still outspeeding Gengars, you're still outspeeding Kokos, but you're not just full 252 Scarf, because you don't really need to put all those points in speed because you can just put the rest in HP and get a little bit of bulk out of it. So Magicrum's going to be there to shut off Xerneases that are using like Geomancy and stuff like that. It's going to make them have to hardcast for 2 turns. You have Shadow Balls for, Lunalas and stuff like that. They're still popular. Moonblast is great against all those Rayquazas you see running around right now, and Sashock is there as, your main stab in the Psychic terrain. Great for Xerneas, targeting the defensive stat over the special defense stat. Wailoi is like absolutely amazing, and since most of our Pokemon other than Salamence are grounded, you're going to make it so your team is definitely protected from Fake Outs and other priority moves. Reshiram's a little bit of a bait. This is a full bulk Reshiram set. It's going to be actually like mostly HP specialty. It's like really thick with a little bit of defense. So we have Protect, Roost, Earth Power, and Blue Flare. So with the Psychic Seeds, it's really good because your opponent can't like spam knockoff on the Reshiram. It's already used its item, it gets another special D boost. This Pokemon is an absolute unit, a beast at taking out Xerneases. You're actually just going to be able to like out-trade Xerneases. Like they're not going to be able to deal with you. And I don't recommend bringing Reshiram every game, but having Reshiram at the front of the team preview really makes it so your opponent's going to tunnel on it. More often than not, you're going to bring things like Pheromosa. You're either going to usually pick Salamence or Naganadel. You don't really like to bring both. But if you want to, go for it. It's just like they have a lot of the same weaknesses. You only ever really need one. So, I'd recommend like Mosa, Salamence, Groudon, Lele most of the time. And if you guys have any questions about how to play this game or want to see this game this team used in game, check out the most recent YouTube videos. I played like 4 or 5 videos with it, so I might even leave them in the comments below. And, I definitely recommend this team to anyone that wants to have a good time with a hyper-aggressive team. So we're moving on to team number 4. Team number 4, I think, is a singles team. So for those of you guys that want to learn how to play singles, this team we're looking at right here is a doubles team. If you guys that want to play singles on the Battle Spot ladder, so those of you that are like Let's Go players that want to, dip your feet in the singles pool, I have a really good team for you that I do highly recommend. So it's going to be, if I can find it, is it? Aha! Found it right here. So it's going to be right here. This is going to be a singles team that I highly recommend. Right off the bat, the first thing we want to notice is we want to go all the way down to the bottom of this page and we see battles won and battles participated in. Look how many battles this thing has been participated in. 118,000 battles. This is a very popular team. It doesn't really get that much usage anymore, but back when like regular Sun and Moon was out, this team was very popular on the ladder. Definitely held the #1 usage spot for a long time, but I feel this is a great team for people learning to play the game. People that want to take that next step and really level up their competitive experience. Maybe you came from Let's Go, maybe you haven't played in a while. I really do feel that this team covers all your bases because you use multiple choice items with a very safe Mega and a very standard Z move with a couple of just standard sets. So obviously we got the choice specs on Latios. Remember, choice specs are going to lock you into a move. The first move that you use, you're locked into, but you get a plus 1.5 special attack, boost upon doing it. So really very good. Latios comes in and just can delete something. Got Psychic, Draco Meteor, Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball. Really good. Great coverage on that guy. I recommend bringing Latios almost every game, especially in the Battle Spot singles format. Remember, you bring all 6, and then you and your opponent both look at each other's teams in the team preview and pick 3. After that, we're going to have Scizor, a dedicated Mega. A lot of the teams you're going to see on Battle Spot singles have like 2 to 3 Megas, and they pick one to use in the game. This team's going to make it a lot easier for you and only have 1, so it's a lot easier for you. Scizor is probably one of the best Megas in Battle Spot singles. Really good, super bulky. Bullet Punch has that priority. Technician's going to make your Bullet Punches have any move that has less than 60 base power gets multiplied by 1.5. So since Bullet Punch is a 40, you're going to get a 1.5 from the Technician, 1.5 from your Stab. It's going to be really strong. Huge priority Pokemon. U-Turn, we got Roost for recovery and Swords Dance. And you may be thinking like, you have Swords Dance and U-Turn. Well, yeah, you're not really going to be leading with Scizor using Swords Dance and U-Turn. What's going to happen more often than not is Scizor is going to become like one of the last Pokemon you send out. And if it's your last Pokemon, you can't switch out with U-Turn. So you're actually just safe to stay in. So I do highly recommend Scizor. And even if you don't like this team, any team that's using Scizor in Battle Spot singles is a great team. Scizor's a great Pokemon. I know it's definitely a fan favorite. After that, we're looking at Zapdos here. And this is a Rocky Helmet Wall Zapdos. Now, I know you're probably thinking like, where's the Z move Zapdos? Where's the Roost? Where's the sub? Because a lot of you guys are used to my Let's Go Zapdos. This team, like I said, is not perfect. This team is a perfect team, though, for learning how to play. This Zapdos set would kind of evolve into like a Roost Toxic style Zapdos, but I feel this team, it has Roost and Toxic, but it doesn't have the sub. It has HP Ice instead and Volt Switch. And, you don't really want to stack Volt Switch with sub. And Rocky Helmet, remember, is anytime your opponent makes contact with like a physical attack or just any contact in general, like Grass Knot would proc it too. you know, they take, I think, like an eighth of their health. So this is really good against like Kangaskhan, because Kangaskhan is also very popular in battle spot singles. Switching in on a parental bomb fake out, they're going to hit you twice and they're going to take a ton of their health. You can just reply back with a Volt Switch. You can always come back in later. And the Zapdos is a very pivotal Pokemon of this team. And so, like I said, you're looking at these movesets. They don't really seem like super special, like super techy, but they have all the bases covered for standard play, which is why I am highly recommending this team. So Heatran's gonna be the next Pokemon. We see Lava Plume, Earth Power, Toxic Protect. So again, another Toxic Staller. We're not gonna be making things complicated with Sub right now. We have leftovers, so we can use like leftovers in between every other turn to get the maximum value out of our leftovers. I said protect. We can use protect every other turn to get maximum value out of our leftovers. And Lava Plume over Flamethrower, sure, it's gonna be 10 base power weaker, but Lava Plume is like the fire variant of Scald. It has a 30% chance to burn, and so you're fishing for burns. You want toxic things, you can toxics. Earth Power is great at fighting against other Heatrans, which is another very popular pick. Also, like Tapu Koko is another popular pick. You can use Earth Power against that as well. So Heatran is a great Pokemon. I don't really bring Heatran all that much when I use this team, but I've definitely won games with it in the past. And there's probably videos up on my channel of me using this team as well. If you guys want to check it out, type in like Battle Spot Singles content, like Battle Spot Singles, in my YouTube channel search bar. Maybe if I can find some, I'll link some in the description of this video as well. But if you want to see this team used in game, I probably have some videos showing it off. And then we have Choice Scarf Landorus. This is like the standard of standard Pokemon. We got Full Speed Attack Landorus, Earthquake Knockoff, Rock Slide U-Turn. Very, very standard. Anyone that's actually played singles over the past 3 or 4 years knows that this Pokemon is like super meta. It's your Intimidate user. Every team needs at least one usually. U-Turn's gonna make it so you can reapply that Intimidate. Earthquake's gonna let you outspeed pretty much everything. Knockoff for you know, pesky Pokemon like Chansey and stuff like that are packing those Eviolites, and also just super effective. Dark Attack against like Cresselias and Aegislashes. So highly recommend Landorus. You probably bring this guy almost every game because it can go 1-for-1 with almost anybody. And last but not least, like Rock Slide, like best move of the game. 100% chance flinch. You know what I'm saying? So last but not least, this is the one tech Pokemon on the team, and this is the Pokemon I bring the least amount, but this is the Pokemon that's most finely tuned for the Battle Spot Singles format. It's going to be Tapu Fini, right? So Tapu Fini is going to have Misty Surge, which means all things that are grounded, that are touching the ground, no non-flyers, non-levitators, you know, they can't be hit with status moves. No burn, no toxic, no poison, para, you know, confused, stuff like that. So immediately it clashes with your Heatran and your Zapdos. I get that, but it is actually a pretty good Pokemon. You're using Fini mostly for like Calm Mind. I think that's Hidden Power Fire on this Fini, so you can fight against Verathorns. You have Moonblast, Hydro Pump. It's just a Calm Mind setup Pokemon. You have the Water MZ, so you can go for a huge Hydro Pump, but remember, this Fini has a decent amount of investment in bulk, and you're going to be able to check that in ways that I talk about a little bit later, where like scanning your team in game and like looking at the IVs and like natures and EVs and stuff like that. So yeah, really, really great team. Like, this team has been used over 100,000 times. So if you guys like this team, feel free to give it a shot, and you definitely won't be disappointed. And look at the next one. The next team is, I think, a doubles team. I think it's a doubles team. Is a doubles team. So what sets this team apart from the first team we looked at? The first team we looked at, remember, is a VGC 2019 Ultra Series team. This is a championships, championship format battle team. So this is using the current VGC 2019 Ultra Series rules. But there are, 4 formats. There's Battle Spot Singles, there's Championship format, there's Special format, and there's Battle Spot Doubles, which uses the VGC 2018 rules. And so that's still a ladder. We were actually laddering it today on my stream upon when I'm recording this. We weren't using this team, but yeah, that is still a ladder, and you can still get points on it if you're looking for a really good overall ranking. This is a really cool team to use, and now I do want to put like a stamp and say this team is very hard to use, but this is a very, very good team. This is probably my favorite team from the whole 2018 season, and there's definitely games on my YouTube channel of me using this team. Holy moly, there's so many games, and I will either link some in the description. I mean, I probably will at this point because I have so many games to show off with all these teams. But yeah, this is going to be a Mega Gardevoir team. It is also featuring a Zap Cat's core of an Incineroar and Zapdos. Get the Zap and the Cat. So pretty good team. We're using a Amoonguss with Clear Smog. Amoonguss is pretty good. Got another Choice Scarf Landorus. Electricum Z Zapdos. This is actually going to be a full speed special attack Zapdos. I feel like I should definitely mention that before we go any further. And last but not least, it's going to be a Weakness Policy Tyranitar. And so the whole point of this team is we can go with Tailwind with Zapdos or Trick Room with Gardevoir, and the things that check both of those things are going to be completely different. You can't just bring usually one Pokemon that can either stop and work in the Trick Room, or a Pokemon that can like stop and work against like Tailwind. So like against like Zapdos, first of all, you're going to want to use like, let's see, like rock types or other like really big Pokemon that can like one-shot it but outspeed it, and there aren't really that many things you can do without Z moves. And even if they do, like you have you have like Fake Out with your Incineroar, so they're not gonna be able to do that. And so it's really hard to find something that can work against almost everything this team can do, but this team has like a few different layers upon it. So we have a ton of AoE potential with like Gardevoir. Gardevoir is just absolutely humongous. We also have a Mungus for Rage Powder. It just, this team creates so many little minute situations where your opponent has to respect too many options. How do they lead against something that can set Trick Room, can set Tailwind, can have Fake Out, but also has Redirection? They also have to watch out for the Scarf Landorus, and there's also like an anti-weather Pokemon in Tyranitar. This team has literally everything, and I'd feel safe bringing this team to any tournament if they were still doing 2018 tournaments. So same thing goes for the ladder. Like I could ladder with this team and go all the way up to 1800s. It'd take a little while. You know, you're not going to win 100% of your games, but 70% win rate is pretty good. Like, you know, if you scroll down to the bottom, you can see Battles won 173 out of 301. I have to have at least 80 of those wins. Just me. Like, I don't share this QR code with anyone. This is information you're not going to get anywhere else. Like, the last team we saw had like 118,000 uses. That's a really popular one. Now, this QR team is one that, like, I use. And I show it to very close friends because it's really good. And I've taken this team and expanded upon it a little bit further and tweaked the EVs a little bit more to my liking. But this team's, like, super good. Like, you don't need to tweak it any further. The QR team's good enough. Maybe think about the weakness policy is a little bit weird on T-Tar. But I'm going to show you guys a couple things you can do if you actually want to watch the videos that, you know, I'm going to link in the description. Like, one video I was leading against Perish Trap, right? And Perish Trap is, like, a really, really common team in 2018. I would, like, Landorus, Tyranitar. I popped a U-turn from my Landorus into my own T-Tar, or even if, like, your Landorus is, like, Intimidated, or even if you just want to Earthquake, you can pretty much proc your own Tyranitar's weakness policy with your Landorus using moves like U-turn, using moves like Superpower, and just one-shot something with like a huge AoE +2 stabbed Rock Slide, or a huge Crunch, or a low kick for the Tyranitar mirror matchup, or, you know, fighting against like Heatrans or Kangaskhan, which are all very, very popular Pokemon in this format. So I highly recommend this team. You technically can win any game with this team, and that's why I recommend it. It's my favorite doubles team from the format, and I do think it's actually really, really good. So moving on, you may be thinking like, wow, that's a really good team. These last two teams have been really, really good. What else is there? You know, how else can I possibly get better? Remember, we looked at championship, we've looked at doubles, and we looked at singles. Now, there's only one format left, and you may think this is stupid, but this season, special form, remember the seasons last for a few months, is a Metronome Battle Ladder, where only Pokemon with the move Metronome can be used. And so, you can see me smiling. It's actually kind of weird. We've actually streamed this a couple times, but there is a metagame to it. You want to have specific Pokemon, because they're all using random moves, right? It's literally random. So you don't just want to pick someone with the highest base stats. You have to work your abilities and speed tierings into it so you can use it correctly. But what it does really, instead of just using like, you know, Machamp and hoping to hit Fisher off Metronome or something, use like a no-guard Machamp, I think it really creates an opportunity to use lesser known mythical Pokemon, because they're actually legal for this format. So when we look into the team here, like I said, only thing Pokemon can have is Metronome. That's the only thing things can use. So we're going to be seeing Mew, Clefable, Celebi, Jirachi, Gengar, Snorlax. And like I said, they can't have other moves. It's just Metronome. And so this is one of those situations where Metronome's really hard to get on these Pokemon, because you have to get them from like really old games, because, you know, Metronome you can't just have on them anymore. Especially stuff like Snorlax and I think Jirachi. Those are really hard to get Metronome on. I think it's like a Gen 3 move tutor move. But yeah, you can see this team has a ton of usage because it uses such really cool Pokemon, and we're going to talk about the items and the Pokemon choices. Now, obviously, Mew has Synchronize, really, really good Pokemon there. Synchronize is going to make it so, like, if you get Toxic, they get Toxic. So, they can't really status you. It's going to be pretty good, and it's holding a Choice Band. Remember, Pokemon like Mew, Pokemon like Celebi, Pokemon like Jirachi, they're going to have, like, 100 base stats across the board. So being able to put a Choice Band on Mew, which means if you hit like a Zen Headbutt or like a close combat, you're gonna be getting real, real hard. And since you're already locked into one move, it makes sense to just, you know, use the Choice Band, and doesn't really matter what you get. Same goes for Clefable. Clefable's ability is Unaware, which means it's going to be able to avoid any Pokemon that have like stat boosts. Like someone uses Swords Dance, Clefable's Unaware, doesn't even notice, and it doesn't even care. And it has Choice Specs in case you want to hit any special attacks. Going up in Celebi, I think Celebi with weakness policy is really cool, because remember, Metronome makes you use any move randomly. Sure, you have a 4x weakness to Bug, and it sucked to eat a Mega Horn, but like, I mean, there's weak bug attacks. You know, there are weak bug attacks. There's weak fire attacks. There's weak ice attacks. There's weak rock attacks. You see, Celebi has so many weaknesses that it's a perfect Pokemon to use a weakness policy with. It's going to double your speed, double your special attack and attack, and make Celebi just an absolute unit, an absolute tank. After that, we have Jirachi with Rocky Helmet. You know, Rocky Helmet's okay. Jirachi is one of my favorite Pokemon. Serene Grace is going to double your % chances of extra effects happening. So if you use like Iron Head, for example, instead of a 30% chance flinch, it's going to be a 60% chance flinch. So really good Pokemon. Jirachi is definitely a fan favorite, so it deserves a spot in the team. Gengar is probably one of the best Pokemon on the team. You can see Gengar has Curse Body, right? So Curse Body says whenever your opponent makes contact with Gengar, there's a 30% chance for Gengar to disable the move that made contact. And since every Pokemon, the only move they can have is Metronome, if they make contact with you with like anything, and there's a lot of special attacking moves that make contact as well, like they can just get their Metronome disabled. It doesn't disable like, you know, it won't disable, you know, their like Ember, and they can't use Ember next time. No, it disables the Metronome that used Ember, and so they're just forced to struggle. And you have Black Sludge for leftovers, for like recovery. So Gengar's probably a Pokemon you want to bring every single time. And before I even get into this, you only bring one Pokemon to every battle. You're going to look at your opponent's team in the team preview, and you're just going to bring one. So it's really, really hard to like read what they're going to lead with, but Gengar's always a safe option. After that, you have Snorlax with Immunity. I think Immunity is pretty good. It stops like Toxics and stuff like that. I'd personally rather have Thick Fat on Snorlax, but Leftovers are pretty good on it too. It's going to make Snorlax probably one of the thickest Pokemon in the format. It's going to be able to sustain, has a huge base attack stat. I highly recommend Snorlax. I would say the tier list of Pokemon you want to bring with this team is probably like Gengar, Snorlax, Mew, Celebi, Jirachi, Clefable. But it's up to you, and I highly do recommend this QR code. It has a ton of usage, like over 80,000 usage. In a format completely based off luck, this team has over 50% win rate. 100% luck in moves used. It's the Pokemon themselves they give this team an over 50% win rate, and it's probably one of the most popular Metronome battle teams, but I really do recommend it. It's a ton of fun. You guys should definitely check out the format and let me know what you guys think about this. And last but not least, we have the number one team I recommend for you guys this week. Number one team, it's going to be a VGC 2019 Ultra Series team made by one of the loyal viewers of our Discord here. It's going to be made by Ken's. This is going to be a dual primal team with Mega Sceptile. Now, it doesn't have any usages yet. I mean, I'm going to use some of it a little bit later. But, yeah, this team is dual primal, so you can go Kyogre, and you can primal revert into primal Kyogre, and you can go Groudon, you can primal revert into primal Groudon, and you can go Sceptile. You can do all of those things and Mega Evolve in the same game. We have Fake Out, Snarl, Berry, Incineroar. We have Sableye, which is one of my favorite Pokemon. Fake Out, Faint, Quash, Gravity, really cool set. We have a Scarf Tapu Koko, and Scarf Tapu Koko works with Sceptile, because remember, when Sceptile Mega Evolves, it gains a Lightning Rod, which means it's going to absorb electric attacks and make it so, you know, Tapu Koko can like spam Discharge. Discharge will proc the Sceptile's Lightning Rod, give it a +1 special attack. You can just slam in huge Dragon Balls and Grass Knots, and it's really, really cool. Also note that Tapu Koko can work with Groudon. You know, you can use, you know, Scarf Discharge with the Groudon. Groudon's ground type avoids it. You can use Sableye with any of these things. You can Fake Out, and remember, Feint goes through Protects, and not only goes through Protects, it goes through Wide Guards as well. So if you have Sableye and Groudon, and you think they're going to Wide Guard, you know, you can just Feint them, breaks their Wide Guard on both the Pokemon, and just slam in the huge Pressless Blades, or Water Spout with Kyogre. Really, really cool team. He just made the QR team, I think, so that's why there's no usage on it, but I highly recommend this team to anyone who is a fan of my content. Anyone who watches my content know I love Sceptile. I really like Sceptile Koko, and Sableye is like a definite fan favorite. I use Sableye all throughout the end of like 2015. I like dual primals. This team, it just oozes style. And also note that Sceptile has Worry Seed. So if like I have Groudon and they have like, you know, some others like things stopping my weather or something like that, I can go like, or like let's say I have Kyogre and Sceptile. That's a better example. If I have Kyogre and Sceptile, I can Worry Seed the Groudon, which takes away the Groudon's Desolate Land and replaces it with Insomnia. That's what Worry Seed does. And so since the Desolate Land is gone, I'm able to slam in water attacks from my Kyogre into the Groudon. And I think that's so cool. There's so much unique little tech in this team, and it's probably going to be a pretty hard team to play, but it's going to be the most fun team. And that's why I put it number one on this list. Like, this team is pretty good versus all the teams in the meta. It's good versus Kyogre, which I stated at the start of the video, but it's also really fun, and it uses like all my favorite Pokemon. Like, actually, when I was talking to him on Discord about this team, I said like, oh yeah, I'm making a Sceptile dual primal team. He's like, what? Me too. And legit, 5 of these Pokemon were in my team. I didn't use Incineroar, but Incineroar is a good Pokemon. You can't really tell me that it's not. You kind of need Intimidators to keep people honest half the time. But again, it's just, I actually think in my version, I ran either like a chlorophyll user or a like Moody Cole or something like that. But you know, it's like pretty much the same thing. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the top 5. Remember, in review, we are going to be having, you know, my hyper aggression team. This is made by me, and every time you guys use this QR code, you know, it shows, even if you don't win, like just usage, it raises my builder rank. And so the more you guys use my QR codes, the more teams I can actually make public. So use up this one if you actually want to test one and help me out. I'd really appreciate it. I want to know what you guys think about it. We have a singles team, highly recommend it. I ran through this one very, very well. We have a doubles team that I pretty much have like an 80% win rate across the board with over months. It's really, really good. I highly recommend it. We have a metronome battle team that's a lot of fun to use, and the most fun team to use is going to be the Dual Primals Mega Septile Core. And for those of you guys wondering, like, you know, this is great. You've talked to me about this for a while. I still don't really know what QR codes are or how to use them. Like, I just want to use the team. Like, how do I use the team? I'm going to show you guys how to do that right now. So let me get rid of this. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at this website here. This is the website. This is the Pokemon Global link. I will leave a link to this website. This is where, you know, you learn how to do all this. This is where you get all these codes from. This is no scam. I promise. I promise it's no scam. This is like official through Pokemon. This is how you are using these codes. So what you're going to want to do is once you get to the Pokemon Global link, if you already have a Pokemon Training Club account, log in here. If you don't, sign up. It's pretty easy. It doesn't take that long. But once you log in with your information, you can see mines and stuff right there. It's going to take you to this page once you're fully logged in. Now, once you're logged in, what you're going to want to do is like game sync your game. That's all a part of the setup process. It's going to show you how to do that in your game. If you have questions about game syncing and getting to like this page, please let me know in the comments and I can help you guys out. But once you guys are here, the thing you're going to want to click is QR rental teams. Once you click that, it's going to take you to this page. And so you can see like the #1 usage team right now. These just rotate in and out. You know, you can see really popular trainers that upload QR codes. You can click them, it'll take you to like their page. You can see QR teams that they've used. You know, same thing. Like this is a really popular doubles team that's up right now. Just a bunch of popular stuff. But the thing we're looking for here is the QR rental team search. So if you go to QR rental team search here, it's probably gonna make me relog in just a moment when I want to show you guys how to use the card. Yep, you've been logged up for 30 minutes. That tends to happen. So don't worry about it. Relog in. I was ready for this. I was actually prepared. I think I was prepared. Gotta play the game. Just, well, I guess we're here. So like I'm showing you guys how to log in, I guess. So it's gonna make you pick your game. And so I have one for Ultra Sun and Moon and Moon. So yeah, it says it takes you to this web page here. And so we just go to the QR rental team search. And we're just gonna look at random teams. And I'm just gonna show you guys how to like scan the teams. And I really feel this is an important thing to show you guys because if you don't get this, it's gonna be pretty hard. So right now we have like singles, doubles. You know, if you want to just see popular teams, what you can do is you can go back, and I'll show you how to do that instead. You can see like you can click see more in this spot right here, and it'll show you like popular teams of like the week of the day. And you know, my lists aren't just lists that are copied off here. For the most part, these are gonna be all like metronome teams because they're a really popular one. But let's just go to daily and let's sort it to doubles. If you guys want to use this team right here, let's click on it. Let's click on it and see what happens. So it's going to take us to this page. Right here. Bam. We can see the page right here. Shows like a decent run on the team, what we've been looking at. What we're looking for is the display QR code button. And this is going to be different for every single person when you're logged in. But you see, when you click that display QR code button, it gives you the QR code. And what you're going to do with this QR code is when you're actually battling like online, you're going to take and scan up your QR code. You're going to take your DS. When you're actually like in the settings, and you're going to scan it with a QR reader on the back of your 3DS, and you're just going to scan it right before you get into battle. When you're going to battle, when you select your team, if you go all the way to the left, there's an option to scan QR codes. These are completely free. These don't cost anything, and I highly recommend giving QR codes a shot if you haven't yet. If you never have, you want to take that next step in learning how to battle competitively, I highly recommend giving these QR codes a shot. I know there's a lot of you guys that want to learn a lot more about Pokemon and soak up all that juicy knowledge for Sword and Shield come out in November, and this is a great way to get your feet wet. So guys, thank you for watching so far. Please, please, please let me know what you thought about this video in the comments below. And if you guys have any questions, I'll do my hardest, best attempts to answer. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.